Bob O'Donnell, technology analyst, joins us now for more from Foster City from California. Bob, thank you for your time for TRT World. Now, Huawei has strongly denied accusations that its products could be used for surveillance by the Chinese government. What do you make? Is Huawei posing a threat to the United States?
Well, look, it's a very complicated issue, as you guys have been discussing here on that news package. I mean, fundamentally, there are concerns of the connections between Huawei and the Chinese government. And even though there's not a lot of hard evidence of specific spying that has been done through Huawei equipment, the concern is the potential. And that's why you've seen so much focus on this. And of course, this executive order, everyone knows that it's essentially pointing towards Huawei, even though they're not specifically mentioned. But fundamentally, it's being used to pressure Huawei. Clearly, they've had some issues. They sold products to Iran against agreements that were in place to not do that. So there's obviously some problems that they've broken the rules in a number of places. And there's a lot of concern around the Chinese-U.S. role in terms of 5G. And so they're particularly hitting hard on this point because Huawei, of course, is a big player in telecom network equipment. And the concern is if Huawei has a big presence for 5G networks in the U.S. and potentially something gets turned on, that could be catastrophic for the U.S. And that's why we see all this concern.
Mm-hmm. And how will this impact Huawei and its reputation?
Well, clearly, this has impacted Huawei's reputation quite a bit. But at the same time, you could argue, there was a famous circus person in the U.S. called P.T. Barnum that said any publicity is good publicity. So Huawei's name has been shared around the world much more than it ever had been before. So in a weird way, they're getting some benefit from it. But clearly, there's a lot of concerns. And the issue here now is what does Huawei do in the U.S.? Remember, they still have a very strong presence in other parts of the world. They're one of the top equipment providers around the world, and they're going to continue that. And China is a huge market. Most of Europe is still willing to purchase Huawei equipment. The UK has been a little resistant. We've seen Australia show some resistance now as well. But Huawei is doing just fine, frankly. This is more of a symbolic issue between the U.S. and China and the role of countries in the development of 5G.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks so much for that. Bob O'Donnell, technology analyst, live for us from California.